Are you one of those type of people who feel like you give so much to the world? Everybody's able to come to you. If somebody has a problem, they come to you. If people need money, they come to you. If people need advice, they come to you, right? But when you need somebody, when you need a shoulder to lean on or a shoulder to cry on, do you have anyone to go to? If you answer no to that question, yes and no, meaning yes, there are people who always come to you, you're always there, but when it's your turn, you have nowhere to turn. This could be a sign that you're too independent. Welcome back to the Kendra Justine show. This is officially episode 2. You all already know what time it is. You have officially entered the real zone of YouTube. Last week we talked about, are you high value? Very important discussion. Go ahead and check out that video and everything that we discussed. That's going to lead into this next discussion today, which we're talking about, are you too independent? If you're anything like me, I was raised in an era to where it's like independent. Beyonce was talking about being independent. Webby, INDEPENDENT. So it was independent. My father always raised me to make sure that I didn't have to depend on a man. Now we fast forward to 2021 and we're having many discussions that have been going on for a long time about, are women too independent? This is something that is not only for women. This is going to be something that's for men too. I dare you to stay all the way to the end of the video, because anybody who watches this, you're going to have many breakthroughs that you're going to want to apply in your life immediately. Matter of fact, after this video, you might literally catch a blessing in your bank account. We're going to talk about how. So stay tuned through the entire video to see, so that we can discuss it. This video is extremely important because a lot of us have been misled, and it's nothing wrong with when you start to realize that something that you have been doing may not be working. And I want to talk about this independent subject because, again, this is something that really definitely relates to the women of today. But we also want to think about men, because sometimes men can also be overly independent as well. But again, for the sake of this video, and since I'm a woman messenger, we're going to be talking about, are you too independent as a woman? Are you one of those type of people who feel like you give so much to the world? Everybody's able to come to you. If somebody has a problem, they come to you. If people need money, they come to you. If people need advice, they come to you, right? But when you need somebody, when you need a shoulder to lean on or a shoulder to cry on, do you have anyone to go to? If you answer no to that question, yes and no, meaning yes, there are people who always come to you, you're always there, but when it's your turn, you have nowhere to turn. This could be a sign that you're too independent. We're going to talk about this in regards to relationships, but I want to talk about this on a human level as well. I'm empathic. I feel people. I want to help people, but then I'm never able to get that in exchange. I'm always depleted. I'm always used for my resources, but then when it's time for me to put my hand out, there's nobody there. However, to my empaths, okay, we need to really start taking time to look within. Let's ask ourselves, why are there not people there for when we need people to be there for us? Perhaps we're too independent. Perhaps we take pride in being the person that everybody comes to, but then when we turn around, nobody is there for us. Start to do a self-check. You might be the type of person that is very independent financially, independent business-wise. You can be independent creatively. You can be independent to where you're taking care of your own children, or you're taking on roles where you're really taking care of others. And in the midst of all of that, we can sometimes pride ourselves in doing that we don't leave enough space for us to get help. If you're independent in the physical aspects of your life, if you're independent in the business, the financial matters of your life, if you're independent in every area of your life, don't be surprised if you get over to your emotions and you're like, holy cow, I'm independent emotionally too. We all need people to be able to talk to, but how can we build those relationships if we don't allow others to come in? If we don't really allow ourselves to get the same help that we give to others? It's okay. Everybody needs help. So as an independent person, especially if you feel like you're too independent, the first thing to realize is that you don't have to be independent. You weren't created to be independent. Adam was created, and then a helper was created for Adam. Think about the people in your life that you could open up to. It's a burden lifted. So start asking yourself, are you too independent? If you pay close attention, you're going to see that being independent doesn't just stop at work, or it doesn't just stop at home. This spills over into many aspects of your life. Before we start speaking on how you can become more receptive as an independent person, one thing that I want to address specifically is relationships and dating. we live in a world where there are so many more successful women than there ever has been before. Women are getting degrees in droves. Women are becoming single business women in droves. Women are literally being Superman, Superwoman, and everything else in droves right now, okay? My best friend, I was on the phone with her one time. And when we talk for a while. We always have like these amazingly deep conversations. So I was on the phone with her and she's like, you know, women think that they gotta be able to cook, clean, work, be independent, be sexy. It was also some other things that she said on the phone that we'll just keep between each other. But when she went through that list, I literally laughed because it was like a lot of women do feel like they have to be all of these different things to be worthy or to feel like they qualify. And the fact is that there's a natural need for women in this world. Likewise, there's a natural need for men. But as a woman, I feel like that's something that we need to embrace. I feel like we've gotten out the essence of what it is to just be. And when I say just be, we're not talking about, oh, just be super feminine. All of those things are cool. I completely get it. That's not shade against the feminine movement community at all. We all need that balance, right? But when I say just be, I'm talking about literally being able to be who you are without needing to prove a point or feel like you need to do something to validate yourself, to be worthy or to be accepted or to be wanted by a man. And this is getting kind of deep. A lot of times when you would hear successful independent women complain, it's like, well, I don't understand what's the problem. I look good, I cook, I clean, I make my own money, I this and that, I can do this and that well, but then it's like, but I'm single or I don't have that person in my life. The fact that we're listing our qualifications is kind of an indication of the deep down feeling of inadequacy or unworthiness or undeservingness. When you just be, you don't have to prove yourself. Like, you don't have to be like, well, I graduated this, I have this many degrees, I make this much per month, I live over here, this is what I drive, this is what I do, I look good, check out my Instagram followers on like, you don't have to do that because you just being is something very valuable, especially as a woman. Sometimes women have so much power before they open their mouths. I'm not the type of person that would tell a woman to be quiet and don't say anything. I'm not promoting any type of masochistic thinking or misogynistic behavior around here. But what I'm saying is be discovered as the beautiful woman that you are. There's nothing that you have to prove. A woman is to be discovered. So this is the juicy segment of this episode. It says broke men are hurting American women's marriage prospects. When you go in to read this is what it says. There's a devastating shortage of men who have their act together, according to a new study that may not be surprising to all the single ladies out there. Research now suggests that the reason for recent years' decline in the marriage rate could have something to do with the lack of economically attractive male spouses who can bring home the bacon, according to the paper published by Wednesday in the Journal of Family and Marriage. Most of American women hope to marry, but current shortages of marriageable men with a steady job and good income makes this increasingly difficult, says lead author Daniel Litcher in a press release. Okay. It says Litcher adds that unless your dream man is an Uber driver, why would they put Uber drivers out there like that? Oh my God. Unless your dream man is an Uber driver, the dearth of would-be grooms is prominent in the current gig economy of unstable, low-paying service jobs. To investigate the man draw, researchers created profiles of potential husbands based on real husbands as logged in the American Community Survey data. They then compared these hypothetical spouses with actual unmarried men. They found that a woman's made-up hubby makes 58% more money than the current lineup of eligible bachelors. This study reveals large deficits in the supply of potential male spouses, the study concludes. So first of all, they used some very interesting terms in this article at the New York Post. One of them said a man's made up hubby makes 58% more than the current lineup of eligible bachelors. So here there's an obvious money discrepancy, and anybody who's been married before, something that can totally crush and devastate a relationship is economic instability. So basically they're saying that like Men aren't making what women want them to make in order to be like, okay, I'm going to get with this person. There are a lot of successful women who are making a lot of money. There are a lot of successful women who have different positions, different opportunities, different resources available to them now. And a lot of women feel like if they're going to date somebody who isn't on that financial level that they're dating down. That's going to be another discussion for another day. We're not going to do that in this video. Y'all make sure that you do subscribe to my other channel, Kendra Justine, which is a new YouTube channel. We're going to be going in a lot of behind the scenes discussions on that channel for what we talk about right here on the Kendra Justine show. With that being said, there's this money discrepancy that's kind of happening. And one thing that I will say about that is this. I have been in relationships to where my finances were a problem and it made the man feel insecure. And this isn't something that I think that all men feel insecure across the board. Everybody's different. And people who value themselves based on the external, based on money, based on material things, based on what other people think about them or perceive about them, those are the type of people that's going to be intimidated by your finances, because subconsciously they're looking at you like, oh, this person's doing better than me because they have more than me. Now, if you have a person who knows their worth and knows their value truly, there's nothing externally that you can do to invalidate that person. With that being said, there are several men who are financially successful out here in the world. But even if you're in a situation where you're like, well, I don't meet financially successful men. I have a man in my life who I really like this guy, or I meet really good men that I feel like they have potential, but they're not making the type of money I want them to make, or they're not making the type of money that I make. The thing I want to say about this is advice. Every flower, every fruit doesn't bloom or blossom at the same time. So our timing is different. But what I would tell any woman who's dating a man that's in this situation or looking at a guy and it's like, man, I like these guys, but they're not making the type of money that I need them to make, be friends. There's nothing wrong with being friends. There's nothing wrong with being friends with a man and allowing him to level up. It's a saying that they say women mature, girls mature faster than boys. And I feel like what we're seeing in this era is when you give a woman and a man equal opportunity, and then you change the narrative, because like I said, in my generation, it was independent this, independent that. So when you give them equal opportunity to pursue, to follow the pursuit of happiness, then it's a possibility that maybe because of how the conditions or the circumstances are set up, maybe or maybe not, women are able to succeed faster and earlier than men. It's like we're experiencing a new phase in history and people are treating this like they have all the answers, and really we're entering new territory. This is new land. When women were married and at home, barefoot and pregnant, they were like, some of the women would be rolling in their grave right now like, oh, if I could have lived the life that this young lady's living, free, not completely dependent on a man. But then now we're also experiencing the extreme end of that, where it's like we're too independent, where there's no room for a man and we need men. Be friends with him. Let him build. There's nothing wrong with having certain goals. There's nothing wrong with having expectations. This is what I'll say, and I'll end it here. And this is not something I'm just saying because it sounds good. This is something that I've lived, I've seen, and I've experienced not only for myself, but also for a few others very close to me. When you have true demands, and when I say demands, I don't mean that you're telling the man, this is what you need to do. You need to get this. You need to be making this much money. You need to be doing that. You need to be... No, I'm talking about you have your boundaries. You know them, and the way that you express your boundaries is through your actions. So let's say you do want for the man that you're with to have a certain lifestyle, or to be ambitious, or to make a certain amount of money, or to be specifically, let's say you're like, no, I want my man to be self-employed. Then you can be friends with this person, but understand that nothing advances, nothing moves forward until you start to see that this person is exhibiting the qualities that are important to you. A man who truly wants a woman will do what he needs to do to attain that woman that he wants. And of course, we live in a world where there are so millions of beautiful, attractive, intelligent people. But understand that you are not just everybody, and we're not for everybody. Once you have your boundaries in place, you're going to witness the men and the people who are truly for you. They're going to rise to the occasion. They're going to rise to the bar. I'll let that sit there. Be friends until that man gets to the point. You might be a successful 20-year-old, 30-year-old woman, but this man that you're with, if you let him grow and mold, he could be successful later in life as far as the type of financial success that you're looking for. But again, in our last video where we talked about high value, there are certain qualities and characteristics that you can see if a person even has the potential to do that. This isn't about looking at somebody that you like and you're attracted to and being like, well, you know, I have hope that if he watches me and I'm good to him, that he'll change. No, it's about being in this person's life, building a friendship, and having your boundaries set up in such a type of way that there's no penetration. Take that however you want it. There's no any types of penetration until this person reaches the levels that you see them reaching and that you need them to reach to qualify for what you're looking for your life. The last thing that I want to show, because I do want to have a male perspective on here, this is a clip from the roommates that I thought is very good, and I think this is helpful because I've never heard a young man say this, and that was something that literally drew me to this video. And why I'm including this clip, I was like, real women know this and real men know that as well, but something that he said was equally as real. So let me go ahead and play the clip.
And there's this really popular quote that men always say, and Chris, you can finish the line.
Here we go.
And it's about women, and men say, can't live with them.
Can't live without them.
And the reality of the matter is, men understand, not that they want women, they need them. Every guy knows that. There's a headache, it's trauma, but we can't live without them. We need them. And then you have so many women today that say, I don't need a man. I don't need no 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 man. That's what they say. So think about the differences between the men who are like, we can't live with them, can't live without them, we need them. And the women who say, we don't need no man. Now, how can Miss I don't need no man, not even I don't need a man, how can now she create an interdependent relationship?
Real men know that they need women. That's just pure point blank. Men wouldn't even get out of bed and brush their teeth if women didn't exist in the world. Like, it's a lot of things men wouldn't do. But likewise, women need men. Am I the only woman that loves men? I'm not saying like every man. I'm just saying like, I love men. I never had like a real beef with men. Like, men can do things that, you know, a lot of us women can't do. I have been in a situation to where, you know, I was married, and I never forget, this is a little bit of personal tea right here, but one of the things that my husband said to me after I had given birth to our daughter, and I was really getting back to being my regular self. This is like my mid-20s. And I remember he looked at me, he said, you're not going to need me anymore. And I never forgot that moment. I remember like a picture, like a video recording in my head, because shortly after, it was not too long after that, we ended up separating for many years before we actually, finished with the divorce proceedings. Till this day, if I learned nothing else from that marriage, it's the fact that we need men. It's not just about, oh, I can provide for myself, I don't need a man. I can get my own groceries. I can put all my items together in my house, which I can do. I'm not proud of being able to build everything. I put my Bowflex up. But it's like, yes, we can do those things, but we need men for so many more reasons. When I caught COVID in 2020, that was my biggest wake-up call, because I was single. I was with my daughter alone. Glory to God, they didn't catch the COVID back then. And that was the first time that it dawned into my life. Like, I don't care how much money you make, pretty boss. I don't care how many bills you pay, pretty boss. I don't care how much you can do on your own, how much weights you lift, pretty boss. There's always going to be times where two is better than one. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken. Y'all know who the number 3 is. Glory to God. So let's talk about a few tips that you can take home today to help you with being too independent. If you find yourself being too independent, I'm not just going to tell you stop being independent. Like, no, we're going to give you some things that are going to help you start to ease and see things from a different perspective and help you to be more open to help from others. The first thing, learn to say yes. You know, we've learned to say no. Say no to the energy vampires, say no to the snakes, say no to the people who use you, but we have to learn to say yes. I can't tell you how many times I go to the store and people are like, oh, do you want me to help you take that to your car? Do you want me to help you pick that up? Do you want me to put that in your cart? I always get asked by men specifically if I need help. And I'm always like, oh, no, I'm fine. Thank you. I'm fine. Thank you. Literally, it was this year that I started really being like, you know what? No. Anytime a man asks me if I need help, even if I don't need help, if it looks like I need help, I'm going to take it, because why not? So start to say yes. Start saying yes. I don't even care if you don't need it. Start delegating. Some of us have too much things on our plates. Why do women feel like we have to do the most? Be like, you know what? Instead of me doing that, I'm going to give that task to somebody else. Start delegating. The next thing is to start a self-care routine. You have to take time for yourself. There's nothing demonic about self-care. There's nothing selfish about self-care. If you don't take care of yourself, what are you going to have to give and to be to others? Have times where it's like, even if it's just a day to yourself. In each day of every week, even if you just take 1 hour to yourself of quality time. That's what we need to start doing. An hour a day to self. 1 day a week to self. These are the things that we need to do, and this allows us to be more receptive. The next piece of advice, and this is the fun thing that I want everybody to do. If you're watching this video, you don't dare not do this if you made it this far. Ask somebody for money today. Like, ask somebody for money. It's so many women who, even so many people right now, I know it's some people watching this video that's like, man, I could have used help with this unexpected bill that I got. Or I could use help with this. Or I'm in a situation, I don't know how I'm going to pay for this. Or I need this for that. And you haven't asked a soul. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. Can I hold $5? You got $10 I can hold. Call a parent, call a friend, call a relative, call the dude that you just started dating. Ask anybody today for money. A stranger, somebody. Ask somebody for money. Y'all don't be blowing up Pretty Boss TV comment section talking about what your Cash App is. Y'all hit my Cash App though. No, I'm just kidding. But y'all don't be hitting everybody in the comments talking about hit my Cash App. No, take this exercise out and ask somebody for money. You could get help, but you're being too independent. You're being too independent. So start exercising this. That's gonna break a yoke. You want to break yokes? Break a yoke by asking somebody for some money. Trust God, let go. There are times where again, life's about balance. There's a time and season for everything. There's some times where we're doing. And then there's other times where what we're doing is just, you can't do anything. You just have to let go. When you start to learn how to let go and let God in your life more, you're going to start seeing that not only as you make room for God in your life, you're going to be making room for other people. Good luck to the person who's independent, successful, and is their own God. That's a lot of stress and a lot of burdens to carry on your shoulder. I have been realizing that as I started to depend on God for certain things, because we're not going to get too deep into that, but remember, faith without works is dead. So we're not going to pray our life away and not do anything about it, right? We're not just going to pray for breakthrough and think that it's just going to fall off the sky. No, we pray and we move. But as I've been actually allowing God to do more in my life and to fill in those areas that I don't have the answers for, I don't have the wherewithal for, there has been other people coming into my life. It's like me trusting God has made space for me to allow other people to be blessings to me. For me to allow other people in my life who do want to be able to be a provider, who do want to be able to be an ear, who does want to be able to be of help. So learn to trust God and let go as well. That's one of the keys. Relax. These are things that are going to help you to calm down from that being too independent and just learning how to just be. Being is powerful. This is a bonus. This wasn't even on my list. Start sitting with yourself. Start sitting with yourself and just feeling your energy. And this is for anybody, man or woman. Start just sitting with yourself, even if it's once a day. And feel your energy, feel your vibe, feel your presence. Get comfortable with it. Allow yourself to be. Allow your essence to speak for you. Don't be so quick to have to prove yourself to another person or feel like you have to compete with this fake and flawed society. Like I said, if y'all want more tea on being independent and the true pitfalls of being too independent as a woman, and remember, I'm never going to tell you don't get educated and don't get your money and bread up. That's not ever going to come out of Pretty Boss's mouth. But there's a balance to things. So if you want to have more of the discussions and you want to see how I made the changes in my life from going to being too doggone independent to where I can't even let no blessings in, to where I'm at today and how I'm starting to become even more receptive in life, y'all follow me on Kendra Justine. If not, I see you on the next episode. Let me know in the comments below, family. Are you too independent? I want to read some of your comments off in the next episode. or just on one of the next videos. So let me know in the comments below, are you too independent, or have you dealt with that before? And how do you feel about this whole discussion? Until next time, stay beautiful, stay healthy, stay peaceful, stay strong, stay bold, and stay courageous. Talk to y'all soon.